For centuries, we've dug, drilled, and blasted our own planet to fuel our civilization. We've moved mountains for a few grams of gold and scarred entire landscapes for the rare metals that power our digital world. But we're starting to realize this path has a deadline. Our planet's resources aren't infinite, and the environmental bill is coming due. But what if the greatest treasure trove humanity has ever known isn't buried beneath our feet? What if it's floating right above our heads? A new gold rush is coming, and this time, the treasure map is written in the stars. The potential value is staggering, with some estimates throwing around numbers in the trillions, a prize that could reshape our world forever. When we talk about the wealth hidden in asteroids, the numbers can sound like science fiction. We're not talking millions or billions, but a theoretical value that climbs into the trillions. There are asteroids out there that contain vast amounts of platinum, iridium, and other precious metals. It all comes down to how the solar system was formed. When planets like Earth took shape, heavy elements like iron, gold, and platinum sank to the core. That's why they're so rare and expensive to get to. But asteroids are essentially the leftover rubble of planet formation. They're cosmic time capsules, and some, known as M-type asteroids, are basically giant, flying chunks of metal rich with the very elements we value most. While it's speculative, some studies suggest a single, large metallic asteroid could contain a massive quantity of platinum group metals, rivaling a significant fraction of Earth's known reserves. And these aren't just shiny metals for jewelry. They're the bedrock of our modern economy. Platinum, rhodium, and palladium are critical for everything from catalytic converters that cut down on pollution to the microchips that power our entire digital infrastructure. Demand for these resources is only going up, while our supply here on Earth is limited and getting more destructive to mine. This is the incredible promise of asteroid mining, a nearly unlimited supply of essential materials just waiting for us. While still in its infancy, the global asteroid mining market is already projected by some to grow from over a few $1 billion in 2024 to over $9 billion by 2033. This isn't just a fantasy anymore. It's the next great economic frontier. So, the treasure is out there. But how do we actually pull off a heist on a cosmic scale? Well, it's one of the most ambitious engineering puzzles humanity has ever tried to solve. First, you have to find your target. This is the prospecting phase. Using powerful new observatories, we can scan the skies for near-Earth asteroids. By reading the light that reflects off their surface, a technique called spectrographic analysis, we can get a pretty good idea of what they're made of from right here at home, sorting the barren rocks from the floating treasure chests. Once you've picked your multi-trillion-dollar rock, you have to get there. For decades, the cost of launching anything into orbit was, forgive the pun, astronomical. But that's changing. And fast. Reusable rockets, pioneered by companies like SpaceX, are completely rewriting the rules of space travel. Suddenly, launching the heavy-duty robotic equipment needed for a mining operation is starting to look financially viable. This brings us to the main event, the extraction. You can't just send a few miners with pickaxes. The whole operation will be robotic and autonomous. Companies are developing a few different approaches. Some concepts involve blast mining to shear off huge chunks of metal for later processing. Others are more delicate, suggesting lasers to cut through rock or even magnetic rakes to scoop up loose metallic debris. But here's where the plan gets really clever, because bringing all that material back to Earth would be wildly expensive. The most forward-thinking companies aren't just focused on Earth. They're focused on building an economy in space. This is a concept called in situ resource utilization, or ISRU. See, many asteroids, especially C-types, are packed with water ice. And in the vacuum of space, water is more valuable than gold. By splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen, you get powerful rocket fuel. All of a sudden, asteroids aren't just mines, they're orbital gas stations. A spaceship on a long haul to Mars could refuel mid-journey. Metals mined from one asteroid could be fed into orbital 3D printers to build new spacecraft or giant solar arrays, all without launching those heavy materials out of Earth's deep gravity well. Of course, none of this is easy. The risks are immense, and progress is made through bold attempts. In early 2025, the company AstroForge launched its Odin spacecraft on a flyby mission to an asteroid. While it wasn't the first private attempt to test related technologies, it was a major step. The spacecraft successfully made it to deep space, a huge win for a private company, but unfortunately, the team lost communication with it shortly after. These are the hard-won lessons that push the industry forward. Expert opinions vary, but many believe we are still a few decades away from full-scale commercial mining. If we pull this off, what does the future actually look like? The payoff of the asteroid gold rush is twofold, and it will change both our world and our place in the cosmos forever. First, let's talk about what it means for us down here on Earth. Bringing back even a fraction of the precious metals from a single asteroid could dramatically lower their cost. Materials once called precious could become common high-performance industrial materials. This could set off a wave of innovation. Technologies that are currently held back by the high price of these metals in medicine, computing, and renewable energy could suddenly become affordable and widespread. Environmentally, moving heavy industry off-world could give our planet a chance to heal from the scars of terrestrial mining. But this kind of disruption has a flip side. A flood of space metals could crash commodity markets, which could be devastating for the economies of countries that rely on mineral exports. And the law is a minefield of its own. The 1967 Outer Space Treaty says no nation can own a celestial body, but it's fuzzy on resource extraction. Countries like the US and Luxembourg have already passed laws allowing their citizens to own and sell what they mine, setting the stage for a very complicated geopolitical future. But the second, and arguably more profound, payoff isn't about bringing riches back to Earth. It's about using those resources to stay in space. This is how a true spacefaring civilization is born. By creating a self-sustaining economy in orbit, we unlock the rest of the solar system. We could build telescopes so massive they'd make Hubble look like a pair of binoculars. We could construct permanent bases on the Moon and Mars using locally sourced materials. The World Economic Forum projects the entire space economy could be worth present $1.8 trillion by 2035, driven largely by advancements in satellites and launch services. Asteroid mining is poised to become a massive future driver of that growth. It's a fundamental shift from designing for launch to designing for the mission, where what we can build in space is no longer limited by what we can cram onto a rocket. We are standing at a pivotal moment in human history. The challenges are enormous, the risks are high, and the timeline is measured in decades. But for the first time, we have a realistic path to becoming a multi-planetary species, fueled by the resources of the cosmos itself. The asteroid gold rush is more than a race for riches, it's a race for our future. It's about securing the materials to sustain our civilization on Earth while building the tools to carry us to the stars. The first prospectors are already making their moves. The question is no longer if this will happen, but who will get there first. If you want to stay updated on the technologies that are shaping our future, from the depths of space to our own planet, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.